learn how to describe what cloud computing is. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make a text box right here so people can see exactly what we're doing. And I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna delete all of this. And then we're gonna start with defining what cloud computing is. Cloud computing. And what cloud computing is, man, like cloud computing is basically the ability. What happened with my typing? The ability to deliver. I'm trying to fix how to I don't even know how to spell ability. Ability. There you go. The ability. Something interesting. Yeah, I got you, bros. I got you. Like I said, I'm gonna deliver this. This is gonna be very, very interesting. Like I said, this course is gonna focus specifically for you to pass your. Yeah, the Python course. I'm still continuing right now, but right now I want to focus on this AZ-900 just because people have been asking me for Azure. So I stopped a little bit the Python, but I'm gonna continue the Python later. But for right now, I want to do the AZ-900. But yeah, later on the day, I'll continue with the Python. So cloud computing is the ability to deliver resources all over the internet. Basically, this is what cloud computing is, and cloud computing is the ability to deliver resources all over the internet. So that's what cloud computing is. It's just nothing more than delivering cloud resources all over the internet. And what cloud is, guys, cloud is the internet. Cloud is basically the internet. It's nothing more but the internet. This is what cloud it is, guys. Cloud is nothing but the internet. So I'm gonna make this bigger so you guys can see what cloud computing is. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna use the pencil. Oh, I'll try my best to understand. Yeah, big boss. Yeah, like I said, the reason why I'm teaching cloud and why I'm teaching is because cloud engineer jobs are increasing, man. AI is changing the world, man. AI is changing the world drastically. Listen to this, your dose of memes, bro. Listen there, big boss. AI is changing the world drastically, man. Drastically. And with cloud, if you focus on cloud, man, I guarantee you will have a job sooner than everybody else because AI is integrating with the cloud, with the internet. So AI is already integrated with the internet. So if you master this, dude, everyone's gonna want to hire you, man. Trust me. So that's why I'm focusing on cloud specifically. So cloud computing is the ability to deliver resources all over the internet. That's basically what it is. Ability to deliver resources all over the internet. This can include servers. So this can include servers, computer devices, networking, routers, switches, but everything is virtually. So I'm going to make another text box and I'm going to put over here. Remember, every time we do a mistake in this channel, we pay, guys. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, every time we make a mistake, we pay, guys. So I was trying to put a text box. This is my first time using a whiteboard. So I already forgot after I made that mistake, I forgot what I was gonna write, guys. So after I make that mistake, I even forgot what I was gonna write. But let's make our text box again. And also, I want to say examples. So servers. How do I move this? There you go. Let me try to move this. Why is it white? So servers, routers, switches. Servers, routers, switches. This is basically every single thing that I'm going to deliver all over the internet. You know me, boss. I'm always active when someone is watching the stream, dude. I gotta get active, bro. I gotta get active to make this interactive. The thing about courses is that a lot of instructors make courses seem very, very boring. Very, very boring. It's gonna be like, It can be the nicest topic in life, man, but the instructor is gonna make it feel so boring that no one's gonna watch it. No one's gonna watch it because my teacher is like, bro, my teacher doesn't know what he's saying, you know. So it makes me not want to watch the stream. It makes me not want to watch the stream. If I have somebody that's teaching me something that is not worth the learning, it's like, bro, what are you even teaching? What are you even saying? You know what I'm saying, boss? Bravo, boss, bravo. So okay, so basically that's what cloud computing is. Cloud computing is the availability to deliver resources all over the internet. That's basically what it is. So for example, I have my computer, and then on that computer I have resources stored on the cloud. I can pull them, I can just have internet connection, and I can access the cloud. That's what cloud computing is. So let's get the pencil, let's get this, and then let's mark this that we teach what cloud computing is. So I teach you what cloud computing is. Cloud computing is the ability to deliver resources all over the internet. We can deliver servers, routers, switches. I want to teach you what the shared responsibility model is. And let's grab this text, and then let's minimize this. Share responsibility model. What this is, I like to describe this, you and Microsoft. This is basically you and Microsoft. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna move this down, we're gonna move this, and then we're gonna put this over here, so that way we can see where we are. We're on the share responsibility model, and this is basically you and Microsoft. Why do I say this? Why do I say that this is you and Microsoft? Because the reason why I say this is you and Microsoft is because you and Microsoft, they both have responsibilities. Both of you guys have responsibilities. Like neither you, neither him can control the resources that are on the cloud, guys. Neither you, neither Microsoft. So basically, there's different responsibilities. There's different responsibilities that I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you with a chart. I'm going to show you with an image. I'm going to show you with an image is the responsibilities that you and Microsoft share. So let me move this over here, somewhere over here. I'll just put it over here, guys. I'll just put it over here so you guys can see it. I'll just put it over here. I'm going to move this a little bit over here. I'm going to move this a little bit over here. I'm going to move this over here. And here is a chart that I created, guys. Are you making money on YouTube? No, big boss. Like, honestly, if I'm 100% honest with you, I make $0.00, bro. Like, I make $0.00. Like, I've do all these videos just for people because I've been seeing throughout, like, my career, throughout, like, life, that all these courses, they sell you something, bro. They sell you something. They scam you. They don't tell you the truth. You pay for a course $30, $50, $25, and you still don't pass the cert, man. You still won't pass the cert. That's why I decided to do this, to teach people for free, man, so people can actually learn. And then it makes me feel like if I can help at least one person, bro, if I can help at least one person, that's enough for me. That's enough for me. If I can help one person at least, that's enough for me, man, you know? So that's why I do it. But no, I don't make any money, man. But still, like, I enjoy to do it. I enjoy to do it. But if I could, I would be happy. But I don't make any money, big boss. So let's continue. So we have the responsibilities. Like I said, it's you and Microsoft. So you and Microsoft both are going to have responsibilities if you are going to be a cloud engineer. And what cloud providers provide, they provide SaaS. Let me use the pencil. They provide SaaS, which is software as a service. SaaS is software as a service. And then we have PaaS. This is called platform as a service. We have IaaS. This is called infrastructure as a service. And then we have on-premises. This all the servers, the computers, the routers, the switches, everything is going to be installed on your own premises, which means it's going to be installed physically somewhere on a building that you control. So let's get the text box so you can see. And let me see. software as a service. Software as a service. Remember, that's what SaaS is. Let me see if I can move this a little bit up. And then let me change the, why is this 100? Let me change it to 24. No, too small. Let me change it to 64, 48. I like 48, guys. Software as a service, platform as a service, and then we have infrastructure as a service. We have platform as a service and infrastructure as a service. So we have all of these resources, guys. Remember, on thank you, Big Boss. Thank you. Hopefully I can one day, but we'll see what happens in the future. But let's drink some water. And let's keep going. And then on software as a service, on the responsibility models, you are going to be responsible of the information and the data, the devices, and the mobile PCs, and also the accounts and identities. So you're going to be, if you're providing a software as a service, you're going to be responsible for the information and the data, the devices and the mobile, and the accounts and identities. So remember, SaaS, which means software as a service. If you see this on a test, like for example, think what are the responsibilities that you share if you are doing SaaS. So your responsibilities are going to be information and data, the devices, and the accounts. Now let's say you're doing a platform as a service. Platform as a service, usually developers and people that work on databases are the ones that use platform as a service. Remember this for your test. Web developers and coding guys, people that do coding, people that work on databases are the ones that usually use platform as a service. One thing that I forgot to mention, go back to software as a service, is that this is basically your Google Documents, your email, your Gmail, your anything that where you store data that is a software. This is your software as a service. So this is, a lot of people don't understand that your email is a software as a service, your Gmail is a software as a service, your Outlook, your Hotmail, whatever you have is a software as a service, because you are getting the software, but the service is coming from somewhere, so it's stored on the cloud. Then we also have platform as a service. So platform as a service, this is where you're going to identify the responsibilities that are going to be between you and Microsoft, and this is going to be identity and directory infrastructure, the applications and network controls, and the operating system. And on a IaaS, which is the IaaS or infrastructure as a service, we have the responsibilities which vary by type, and this is basically every single thing, but all the way to operating system. On an infrastructure as a service, you are responsible for the infrastructure as a service as well. So basically, this is the shared responsibility model. And then on premises, like let's say I have my data stored on premises, the responsibility is going to be provided by all the responsibility is going to fall on me, or in this case, you. So all the responsibility is going to fall on you. So that's basically what the shared responsibility means. The shared responsibility is sharing responsibilities between you and Microsoft, in this case, because you're using Azure. So let's get the pencil. Let's mark that we cover the shared responsibility model. And now we're going to define cloud models, this is going to include public, private, and hybrid. Let me get the text messages, and then let me do this. And let's see, private cloud. Oops, let me fix this. Private cloud, public cloud. So I'm gonna teach you the difference between all of them: public cloud and hybrid cloud. So we have three main cloud providers that people use throughout the whole world, and this is a private cloud, public cloud, and also a let me move this a little bit better over here. So private, public, and hybrid. So these are the providers that people use throughout the world. And what a private cloud is basically a cloud where you're in charge of all the resources. So a private cloud, you're going to be in charge of all their resources. Remember this, you're in charge of everything. It's private. It's private. So let's make a text box. Let me get the text box so you can see. And then I'm going to type something. And then I'll move this a little bit over here so you can see what a private cloud is. And then I'll move somewhere over here. Let me make this bigger. Let me make it a little bigger. And let me move this all the way to the right so you can see like what I'm talking about. This is the definition that I want you to memorize for your certification. Just basically memorize this definition for your certification. This is all you have to do. A private cloud is a cloud computing environment used exclusively by a single organization. And I'm going to give you an analogy. I'm going to give you an analogy of like how you can remember what a private cloud is. And basically what a private cloud is, let me get a car. So I'm going to get a car for you so you can see. So I'm going to put a car image. Let me find a good car, and then I'll show you with an analogy how you can describe what a cloud is basically. So let me find an image of a car, literally a car. So here's my car. Here's my car. I don't know if you guys can see my car, but there is my car. There she is. And basically the way I like to describe cloud computing for all of you guys is like having your private car. So when you have your car, you can do basically whatever you want. You can navigate, you can go anywhere you want, you can go places, and you don't have to tell anyone like where you're going or like what you're doing, because it's your private car. It's just basically your private car. So you just can go anywhere you want, you can do whatever you want, and you'll be Gucci, you'll be fine. You'll be fine basically. So basically this is what a private cloud is. A private cloud is a computing environment used exclusively by a single organization. And this is why I use the analogy of the car. This is why I use the analogy of the car because like I said, on a car, you don't have to rely on anything public. It's private, it's yours. It's yours. You don't have to rely on everyone. Like it's exclusively designed for you. This is why the private cloud is a cloud computing environment used exclusively by a single organization. And this is why a private cloud is very important for security. Security is one of the biggest things. It's one of the biggest things why you would want a private cloud, because of the security that it provides. It's the most secure because you are in control of everything. You can say like, oh, I want these people to have access. I want these organizations to have access. You can allow or deny things for this specific cloud model. So a private cloud is specifically designed if you want to focus on private stuff, like I said. Remember, I used the analogy of the car, of the little car, but let's move this over here and then let's go up. So let me move this back over here and let's see where we are. So let me move this a little bit over here. Basically I move my image, but let's put it back and let's go over here. Let's see where we are. So we're back over here, and then I teach you what a private cloud is. I basically taught you what a private cloud is. But now let's say what a public cloud is. So let me get what a public cloud is. I'm going to teach you now what a public cloud is. Let's see what a public cloud is. So now we're going to see what a public cloud is. And what I'm going to do, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you. I'm going to get a text message again. And let me put it somewhere over here. Where did my text message go? Where did it go? Where did it go? What's happening with my text? Oh, there you go. So this is basically what a public cloud is. And the public cloud is a public cloud model where a third-party provider like Microsoft, in this case Microsoft, because we're using Azure, but it can be also AWS. And this is going to own and operate all hardware and software, So this is going to own and operate all hardware and software. And I like to describe this using the analogy of the public transportation, guys. I used to like to this analogy of the public transportation, guys. And the reason why I say the public transportation, guys, is because on the public transportation, you rely on them to provide services. Whatever they provide, you're going to rely on them to provide all the stuff. So we're going to put this image over here of what the public cloud is, representing this analogy of like what the public does. So basically, I rely on whatever, if it's a train, a metro, a underground station, whatever provides this service that allows me to check whatever is out there, like to check whatever's out there. So this is basically what allows me to check all of this. So that's what a public cloud is. A public cloud is anything that is public and accessible. Like it can be accessible from anywhere, any part, but you're gonna rely on some service. So that's what a public cloud is, guys. That's basically what a public cloud is. So now we're gonna go over here, and then we're gonna make this bigger, and then now I want to teach you what a hybrid cloud is. So we saw what a public cloud was. So a public cloud is the model where the third-party provider, in this case Microsoft, owns and operates all hardware and software. You are not responsible for anything. A public cloud, Microsoft is going to be responsible for everything. But the biggest thing about this, and the biggest security risk about a private cloud, so the biggest security risk is availability. Let me fix this word, availability. So this is the biggest security risk for a public cloud, guys. The biggest security risk for a public cloud is the availability, because everything becomes so available in a public cloud. Anyone can access it. So anyone can access it. As a matter of fact, YouTube is a public cloud. So YouTube is a public cloud. So anyone can go on YouTube and then just pull whatever they want, So let me do this. Let me do this so you can understand what a public cloud is. So I think this is going to help you understand how a public cloud and how the public cloud operates. So let me put YouTube. So here we have YouTube. So the biggest security risk of YouTube is like anyone can access it. It's public. Nothing is private, like it's public. Like, so the moment you put a video and then you make it public, everyone can access. So now you're relying on their servers. They're in charge of protecting their own service, like protecting their stuff, but it becomes available to everyone. So this is the biggest security thing. But one of the biggest advantage, the biggest advantage is that you can access from anywhere. So this is the biggest advantage of a public cloud, that you can be anywhere in the world and then you can just access it from anywhere. So this is, I would say, like one of the biggest things, that you don't have to really be like any tech savvy or any professional or something. You can just access it from anywhere. So this is the biggest thing of a public cloud, guys. And now we're gonna teach something like the cloud model that I like the most, and also it's part of your certification. And this cloud model is called the hybrid cloud model. So this is going to be the hybrid cloud model. So let's get the text editor, and let's put the definition of what we have. And let me move this over here a little bit over here, and there you go. Hybrid cloud model. And a hybrid cloud connects your local on-premises. So this is going to combine the private cloud with the public cloud. So let's see if we can make some arrows. Let me see. It's my first time I'm doing this. So what I'm going to do is make some arrows. So let me see if I can make some arrows from here to here. Yep. So there you go. Oopsie. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make another arrow from I'm gonna make some arrows so you guys can see what it is. So let's start adding arrows. So let's put some arrow from here to here so you guys can see what the biggest advantage is. Let's make another arrow from here to here. That way you guys can see how everything is connecting to everything. So basically, private cloud, this is private. This is my own private car. Public cloud, I rely on the transportation. And a hybrid cloud, this is what's going to connect your local on-premises. So this is going to connect my private car with the public transportation. So this is going to connect my my public cloud with the public transportation. This is basically what it's going to do. So it's going to connect my car with that public transportation. So let me move this so you guys can see better. And then a hybrid cloud connects your local on-premises data center with your cloud provider, like Microsoft in this case. So let me pull an image of a hybrid cloud so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. So let me copy this image and then I'm going to throw it on the whiteboard so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. So let me throw this image out here. Let me move it over here. Let me see that you guys can actually see it, that you guys can see this image. So basically, this is what it is. It's combining the advantage of both worlds, combining both of my worlds and then using it as one. You know what I'm saying? So combining both of my worlds and using them as one. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put another text message and then we'll say combination of public and hybrid. So basically, this is the combination of public and hybrid. Put some arrows out here. There you go. So this is basically the combination of a public and a hybrid cloud environment, guys. And this is the advantages of you having a hybrid cloud. I have the advantages of like having accessibility, but I can also separate my private stuff and have a private cloud for that specific reason. You know what I'm saying? So this is a really, really good cloud service, the hybrid cloud, because it allows you to combine both of the worlds. So you have a vision of both of the worlds. It's like you guys, when you guys use the public transportations, you guys get to see how the public transportation works. But when you get to see the like driving your own car, you also get to see how it is like driving your own car, you know. So this is all the same exact thing. So basically this is what it's going to do. So we learned that, and now what we have to learn is we're going to be learning identifying appropriate use cases for each cloud model. So when would I use a public, when would I use a private, and when would I use a hybrid cloud? So these are my recommendations, guys. And this is basically, remember this for your certification. I would use a private cloud. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to circle this. I'll put some arrows out here. I would use a private cloud if I want security. If I want security, If I want security, I would use a private cloud if my main focus is to focus on security. This is where I would use a private cloud. If my main thing is to focus on security, I would use a private cloud. Remember this for your certification, guys. I want you to pass. I don't want you to throw a lot of things that are not part of this this certification and then you fail your certification. So what I want you to give you, the main things on when would I use the specific cloud models, you know. So this is where I would use a hybrid cloud. Now let's focus on a public cloud. So a public cloud, this is all my public cloud over here. And I would use this cloud. Model if I want to be able to access from anywhere. Access. If I want access from anywhere. So this is where I would this is the biggest advantage of having a public cloud. if I want to be able to access things from anywhere around the world. So basically, this is where I would use my public cloud. If I want accessibility, I will focus on having my public cloud. So if I want a combination of both of those, I would use my hybrid cloud. So if I want a combination of both of those, I would use my hybrid cloud. Remember, guys. So if I want a combination of both of those, I would use my hybrid, because this connects my local on-premises data center to the public cloud. So remember, if I want an advantage of having like both the accessibility of the public cloud and also the privacy of having my own stuff, the best thing to do is combining both of those worlds into one. So combining those worlds into one, guys. Combining both of those worlds into one. So this is getting a little bit messy, guys. This is getting some sort of messy. Like I've been seeing some sort of messiness, but this is good because this is all the stuff that we're learning for this part. And I teach you how to identify appropriate use cases for each cloud model. So when would I use a private, when would I use a public, and when would I use a hybrid? Now we have to learn what is the consumption-based model. So now we have to focus on what the consumption-based model is. So we're going to see what the consumption-based model is. And the consumption-based model, guys, is what the consumption-based model is. I like to describe the consumption-based model as you only pay the resources that are on the cloud that you use. So the consumption-based model means you only pay for the resources you use. So this basically is simple. So let's get the text box. Let's see where we are. So as you guys see, this is getting messy. This board is getting very messy, but let's open the text box and let's have some text. Let's move this so you can see what the consumption-based model means. And the consumption-based model means you only pay for the cloud resources you use. There's no upfront cost. So for example, let's say I have a phone. So let me get the image of a phone so you guys can see. The best way to learn is by using analogy, guys. The best way to learn is by using analogies. I believe this is the best way that people can learn, by having analogies where things are easier to understand. So here's my phone. Here's my phone. Let me print some arrows out here. So let me get some arrows out here. So here's my arrow. And basically this is kind of like a phone, like a phone, like where I have my phone plan, but basically I have, like, for example, I make a phone call and I only have 2 minutes. So I use 2 minutes. I'm only going to pay for 2 minutes. This is good because if you don't really use a service much, it can be very, very beneficial, and it can help you save money. If I know that I don't use that service a lot, like if I know my company doesn't use a service, the consumption-based model is basically going to help you with this stuff, for you to be able to see all this stuff. So I believe the consumption-based model is really, really good for you to understand this stuff. So it's basically just you pay only for the resources you use. So what I'm going to do, so you can write this down, you pay only for the cloud resources you use, so you can see and understand how exactly the consumption-based model works. So the consumption-based model works is basically that way. So describe consumption-based models, and now they want you to compare cloud pricing model lists. So Microsoft wants us to be able to compare cloud pricing models, guys. So that's what they want us to be able to do. Like, they want us to be able to compare cloud pricing models. So I created a free image, guys. I created a completely free image. So I'm gonna post it right here on this live stream. But before I do that, let me move this. Let me get the image for you guys so you guys can see it. So you guys can see what how I can compare those cloud pricing models. So let me get that image for you guys. So let me get it for you guys, and then we'll put it over here on the chart, on our chart. So let me move this. Let me throw that image over here. Let me get that over here. Let me get it over here. Let me move this somewhere. I'll just move somewhere over here. And then let me move this over here so we can go specifically over here. And we can just focus on this for right now. So we're going to focus on the compare cloud pricing model, guys. So we're going to be comparing cloud pricing models. There you go. There you go. I think that's beautiful. That's great. Microsoft wants us to be able to compare price model, guys. This is not something that I like to do, but I want you to pass your AZ-900. And for you to pass your AZ-900, you have to understand how to compare cloud pricing model, guys. And cloud pricing models are basically three main primary that you should know for your AZ-900. And the first one is the consumption-based pay-as-you-go. And these are basically going to be unpredictable or short workloads. Basically, you only pay for the services and the resources you use. And there's no upfront cost pay. There's none of that. And there's only the utility billing, like electricity. So basically, this is how I like to use an analogy for like how you use it. You know, like the electricity bill, you pay only for the electricity you use. In this case, it's going to be the same. I'm only going to pay for the electricity I use. And the consumption-based model is depending on the amount of services I use, that's how much I pay. The commitment-based, this is going to be predictable. It continues 24/7, operates 24/7, and is significant and upfront for monthly or commitment. So if I want to commit for long terms periods, I would choose the commitment-based Azure role-based model. And it's good for 1 to 3 years commitments. If I know I'm going to be using a service for like 1 or 3 years, I can do this consumption-based model, and it helps me with all this stuff. And then we have the spot pricing Azure, and this is going to focus on spot virtual machines, interrupted workloads, also like extremely low variable cost and access or unaccess stuff to like the cloud model. So this is going to be focusing on that, guys. So basically, this is going to focus on that. And then we also have one other thing. So the access unused Azure capacity and deep discounts. So this is basically for deep discounts. So that's basically for deep discounts, guys. So that's basically for deep discounts. And now that we know that, the last thing we have to be able to do is to be able to describe what serviceless is. What serviceless is, guys. So for today's days, we have to describe what serviceless is and what serviceless mean. So let me make this, and let me get a text box. Let me move this over here, and then let me paste this. Let me scroll down. Let's scroll down. Let me see if I can make this a little bit. There you go. There you go. There you go. Let me move this over here. Let me move this over here. Let me put it over here. And basically, keep in mind this. In Azure, serviceless is a cloud computing model where Microsoft automatically, they're going to provision, scale, and manage the infrastructure. So they're going to be in charge of like managing all the resources, all the services, all the stuff that you guys use. And all you have to do is like, this is going to be a very, very simple stuff for you to be able to identify stuff and like see what's going on and all this stuff. So this is very, very good. This is very, very good for you to like know what exactly what exactly serviceless is. And serviceless, what I'm going to do for you to remember for your cert is highlight this, and we're going to highlight cloud computing model where Microsoft automatically provisions, skills, and manage the infrastructure. Basically, that's what it is. They're going to be in charge of all of that stuff. So they're going to be in charge of all of that stuff. And as you guys see, we have everything for today. We have all the course for today, all the live stream for today. And what I like to do every single day, guys, every single day as I finish a day, this is a trick that I'm going to teach you for you to pass your certification. And what I like to do, guys, is I like to I like to copy and paste this. So this is a trick that I'm going to show you. And then I like to do this so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. And then I like to go on Gemini. I like to go on Gemini AI. I like to go on Gemini, guys. I don't know if you guys can see my screen or not. Trying to figure out if you guys can see my screen. But if not, let me try to share this screen. Let me make this what I'm doing first. Let me see, and then let me go back over here. Let me go back over here. Let me see, edit, cancel. I'm trying to see if I can share a different screen. If I can share a different screen, but let me see. Yeah, I believe you guys are seeing. I see my screen, so I believe you guys are seeing my screen. So that's good. That's actually really good. So this is what I like to do. I like to copy and paste all of the stuff that we learned today. I like to copy and paste all of this stuff, and then I like to put it on Gemini. And what I like to do over here is I'm going to tell Gemini, make me 10 practice questions for my AZ-900 test with these topics. So this is what I like to do. I like to tell Gemini, hey, make me 10 practice questions for my AZ-900 test with these topics. So this is what I like to tell them. And then I like to say, make it interactive. So now what AI is going to do is going to simulate a test specifically designed with all the topics that we taught AI how to do. So it's going to do all of this. So it's going to focus on all of this stuff. So as you guys see, now we have our first 10 practice questions. So we have our first 10 practice questions only specifically with the things we ask him to do, like with the stuff that we ask him to do. So let's see what happens if we open this in a new tab. Nothing happens basically, so I didn't see any change. I want to see if you guys can actually see this practice questions or not. Let's see if you guys can see this or not. Let's see. Kind of curious if you guys can see these practice questions. But for the moment, what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to edit this. I'm going to try to edit this and see if you guys can see all of this, but it seems like good. Gucci. It seems Gucci. So it seems good. So let's start with the questions, guys. Let's start with the questions. So to see if we actually learn, let's start with the questions. In the shared responsibility model, who's always responsible for the security of data and user access, regardless of the cloud responsible model? So remember, I talk about you and Microsoft, like both of you have responsibilities, but in this case is asking who's always responsible for the security of the data. And who's always going to be responsible is basically going to be the customer. The customer son is going to be responsible for the data. And this is basically what AI says. Regardless of whether the infrastructure or the platform or software is used, the customer is ultimately responsible for protecting the data and managing user access. So always the customer is going to be responsible for the data and the access that it provides to the cloud, So remember, if you see the word always, this is a word that might come in your test. So read the questions and see who's always going to be responsible for the data and the user access, and this is always the customer. So let's hit a number question. Remember, the biggest thing about doing question is that you can see that you actually know what we're talking about. This, like, for example, if somebody asks you, hey, what's this? How do I do this? How do I implement this cloud solution? I can answer. Which cloud model involves hardware owned and operated by a third-party service provider, delivering computing resources over public internet to multiple organizations? So this is a tricky question if you don't know how to read the question. But we gotta understand keywords. So here I'm talking over the public internet. So I want to go over the public internet, and also the hardware is going to be operated by a third service provider. So because of the hardware is operated by a third service provider, this is going to be a public cloud. This is going to be basically a public cloud. Why? Because there's somebody else managing all the servers, the routers, the switches, the firewalls. All I have to do is get the resources from somewhere on the internet. So all I have to do is getting the resource from somewhere on the internet. So a public clouds are owned and operated by third-party cloud service provider, sharing resources across multiple tenants. Question number 3, guys. Question number 3. And question number 3 says, an enterprise requires absolute control over its hardware infrastructure to comply with the strict government regulations. So I want to have control. I want to have full control. I want security of my old devices, you know? I don't want somebody else to take control over my devices, so I want full control of this. So basically, this is going to be a private cloud, but let's see what we have. I'm trying to see because oh, there you go. This is going to be a private cloud. I was looking for why wouldn't let me scroll down, but here it is. So while still wanting to leverage cloud scalability for both traffic, which cloud? Okay, here's a keyword. So I want to take absolute control over hardware infrastructure to comply with the strict government regulation, while still leverage cloud scalability for both traffic workloads. This sounds like a hybrid cloud. I could be wrong. I'm deciding between hybrid and private. Why I'm deciding between hybrid and private? Because on a private cloud, I can take absolutely control. I can control my whole thing. It's private, it's mine. I can comply with government regulations. But I also want to leverage cloud scalability for both traffic's works. I'm gonna send it with hybrid cloud. Let's send it. So yes, correct answer is hybrid cloud. I was still deciding which one, if it was hybrid and public, because like I said, if I want fully private stuff, it will be private, but because of I want to be able to scale, I want a hybrid. So a hybrid cloud enables organizations to keep sensitive data on a private infrastructure while bursting into the public cloud when the demand spikes. Like for example, if my demand spikes, I want more services, this is what is going to allow me to have bigger scalability. Okay, so we're on the consumption-based model. Remember, the consumption-based model, guys, is very important because this might come on your test, on your real AZ-900. How does the consumption-based model differ from traditional CapEx? I don't think I covered CapEx on this first day of this first live stream, but capital basically is the capital expander. So it's like when I want to expand my infrastructure. Okay, so how does the consumption-based model differ from traditional capital expander IT infrastructure purchasing? We can read the questions, always read the questions, see the answers, read the answers, see what fits the most, see what you think is the most. So let's see. It requires large upfront investments for physical hardware and for physical hardware servers. It allows organizations to pay only for the exact IT resources they use. It charges a flat, unchargeable monthly subscription regarding of the usage, and it eliminates software of cost licensing. So basically, I can eliminate D because the consumption-based, the CapEx, the capital expander doesn't do that. It charges a flat, unchargeable monthly subscription. This doesn't do that, so we can discard that. It allows organizations to pay only for the exact IT resources they use over a specific period. This sounds more like a consumption-based model. So how does it differ from Yes, so yes, this is the correct answer. So in the consumption-based model, you're only gonna pay for the exact amount of resources you use. So the correct answer is B, guys. So the consumption-based model operates only as pay as you go. Remember, it's like your electricity bill. Like when you have your electricity bill, um, you only pay for the amount of electricity you use. So you're not going to pay for more of the electricity you use or less of the electricity you use. You only pay for the same amount. So this is how it's going to differ from capital expenditure. Next. If you're here watching the stream, thank you. We've been here for around an hour. I'm about to, like, once we finish this test, we got 5 more questions. We'll finish, but thank you. So let's keep doing this. When comparing cloud pricing models, what is the primary advantage of utilizing operating expenditure over capital expenditure? These are two main things that you must know for your AZ-900, and this is CapEx and OpEx. CapEx is capital expenditure, I want expenditure, and OpEx is operating expenditure. So we didn't go through this, but if you know the answer, you can post it on the comments if you watch this live stream after. But let's try to see. So when comparing cloud pricing, what is the primary advantage of utilizing operational expander over capital? You own the physical servers at the end. This is definitely not correct. You are not going to own nothing at the end of anything. Wait a sec. Wait a minute. So when comparing cloud pricing model, what is the primary advantage of using operational expander over CapEx? Now that I'm reading, it can actually be this, because you will own the physical service at the end of when I finish, because I expanded my operations. So I expanded my operations. I didn't read the rest of the questions, guys. So OpEx enables business to deduct expenses immediately and bypass large initial investments for hardware. This is one of the biggest things that I recommend for you guys. Read all the answers, because yes, I didn't read this, and see what happens. Read all the answers before you start answering on your real test. So read all the answers, read all the explanations. Which of the following best describes the core characteristics of serviceless computing? Serviceless computing, we talk about serviceless computing, and that's where I don't have like any resources. Applications run on physical servers are required. Nope. Virtual machines run constantly 24 hours with fixed monthly hard. Nope. Virtual machines are hosted locally. Nope. Developers do not need to manage or provision their only life. First, this is a very tricky question, guys. This is a very, very tricky question. This which of the following best describes the core characteristics of serviceless computing? Applications run on physical servers that require zero maintenance or patching by anyone. Virtual machines are hosted locally on a developer's. Definitely not. Virtual machines continues to work now. Developers do not need to manage her. Yes, this is both of them, like A and D seem correct. Let's go with D, guys. Let's go with D. D sounds more correct, because these are going to be like not serviceless, like service. So serviceless abstract server manager entirely, allowing developers to deploy code that scales automatically and change for execution time. In an infrastructure as a service IaaS environment, within the shared responsibility model, which task remains the responsibility of the cloud customer? So here's question number 7, guys. Question number 7 says, which cloud responsibility is going to fall under the customer? Maintaining the power supply and cooling of the service rack? No, this is going to be in charge of whoever is providing me that. The physical data center security? Also no. This is going to be the responsibility of whoever is providing me that infrastructure as a service. Configuring the operating system and network security controls? Definitely yes. So in an infrastructure as a service, rents raw virtual infrastructure and must manage the operating system installation, patches, and network firewalls. Next. Which scenario is most appropriate for a public cloud deployment model? Which scenario is more appropriate for a public cloud deployment model? Okay, so Remember, you have to be able to describe the ability of public, private, hybrid cloud, guys. Remember this for your test. Remember this. Remember, be able to identify hybrid, private, and public. So, which scenario is the most appropriate for a public cloud deployment model? Let's where's my oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Which scenario is most appropriate for a public cloud deployment model? We have a storing and highly classified. Nope, I don't want to store anything classified, especially in a public cloud model, guys. Like, I don't want to store anything classified in a public cloud model. Isolating internal corporate payrolls, records from external network connectivity. Nope. Maintaining a legacy financial mainframe. Nope. Running a public-facing e-commerce web application with highly fluctuating and unpredictable seasonal traffic spikes. Definitely. I want to run something public on the public cloud. So if I want to, like I said, I teach you what the public cloud is. And the public cloud is anything. I don't want to put anything sensitive, anything that is going to affect, because security is one of the biggest things that the public cloud doesn't provide. The public cloud is available for the public, like we went on our white dashboard. Remember that the public cloud is the where is it at? I lost it. Okay, so here it is, the public cloud. So the public cloud is the third-party provider and owns and operates its whole hardware and software. So this is why I don't want to put anything on a private cloud. Next, what is the primary financial benefit of using cloud metering and monitoring tools? We didn't go on this day one of this live stream of like what cloud metering and monitoring tools is, because I'll go more in advance of this. But basically, the financial benefit of having monitoring tools and cloud metering is that you can see when things are going wrong. So they eliminate cloud security vulnerabilities automatically? Definitely not. Definitely they won't eliminate vulnerabilities automatically. If that was the case, everyone will have monitoring tools. If I could delete my vulnerabilities like the moment I found them, but that's not how it works. They automatically guarantee that your applications will never experience downtime. Nope. They provide visibility into resource consumption, helping organization track spending. Yep. So basically, that's what cloud monitoring tools are going to allow me to do. They're going to allow me to provide visibility and consumption, helping cloud monitoring tools and allowing teams to analyze and use trends, identify underlying resources, and forecast budget accurately. And question number 10 says, which of the following classic example of a serverless compute service in Microsoft Azure? We didn't go very in depth of this. Guys, but basically what this is going to be the correct answer for this guy is going to be Azure Functions, guys. So the correct answer for this guy is going to be Azure Functions, guy. Let me see, because I lost my my live stream. So let me see. Here we are. We're back. So the correct answer for this serverless compute in Microsoft is the function. So Azure Functions is the correct answer. So Azure Functions execute driven code snippets without requiring any server provisioning or managing auto scaling. So basically, that's what it is. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna stop sharing screen. And now we're back. We're back on our screen. We're back, guys. Thank you for watching these streams. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for seeing this. And if you watch the live stream after, learn, and watch my completely free AZ-900 course. This is going to help you pass your AZ-900 certification. Guarantee you, guys. So thank you all. Thank you. Share this live stream, comment, post, like, subscribe, all of that stuff, and watch my free AZ-900 course where I have everything made step by step on how you can pass your Azure Fundamental course. So thank you, guys, and see you in the next video.